When you think lilies, you sometimes think funerals, especially white lilies. They symbolize the purity and the innocence of a soul once it has left the body. In France and many other countries in Europe, it's the chrysanthemum that has become the flower of the dead and is only used for funerals and on graves. So, if you find yourself in France, just remember not to thank your dinner host or hostess with a pot of mums. Things will go south in an awful hurry. Oh yeah. Hugo R Ensslin was probably one of the most underappreciated bartenders of the early 20th century. He worked as head bartender at Hotel Wallach in New York, shaking up cocktails in relative obscurity. You see, he never made a big splash in the newspapers or became well known for his many celebrated cocktails during his lifetime. Oh, I'm sure his guests probably enjoyed many of his offerings, but he never really got the recognition he deserved. He self-published a cocktail recipe book in 1917, which was probably the last cocktail guide published before Prohibition began. He sold it for 50 cents US a copy, which is pretty cheap considering inflation. That would make it under $12 a copy today. The problem with the book was no one bought it. Maybe it was that one little copyright typo that read 1016 to 1917. It's supposed to be 1916, right? Anyway, commercially, it was a flop. Yet his book, Recipes for Mixed Drinks, today gives us an accurate guide to what people were drinking before Prohibition, before bathtub booze. With drinks like the Aviation, the original Alexander made with gin, and so many more. That book is an indispensable time capsule of over 400 recipes and is now recognized as one of the most important cocktail books of the 20th century, having a big influence on cocktail culture. Many of Ensslin's recipes have been appropriated by other well-known bartenders too, without giving them credit. With well over 100 found in Harry Craddock's famous Savoy cocktail book from 1930 and in Patrick Gavin Duffy's The Official Mixer's Manual from 1934. A lot of drinks listed in Hugo Ensslin's book are of his own creation or versions of an earlier recipe. The one which he is most likely the inventor of that I'd like to make for you today is the Chrysanthemum. When I look at Hugo Ensslin's recipe, it calls for equal parts of Benedictine and vermouth. Dry vermouth. To me, it sounds a little on the sweet side. Now, if we compare that to Harry Craddock's modified chrysanthemum recipe, we get a drier version where the ratio between the Benedictine and the vermouth is eased back to 1 to 2. This makes an ideal choice for, well, I guess a dinner cocktail for sure, especially when served as an aperitif, and it has become the more standard recipe made today. Just like Hugo Ensslin, vermouth cocktails deserve more recognition. Let's make one. We're going to start with dry vermouth. This is Dolan. Thing about dry vermouth, you want to keep it in the refrigerator once you open it, okay? You want to use it up. You might get a couple weeks. It just starts getting stale. It doesn't go bad, it just gets stale. So, we want 2 ounces. Next up is Benedictine. This is such a lovely, lovely liqueur. 1510, they started making that. We want 1 ounce. I just love the herbal notes. Oh yeah, so many roots and herbs used in that. Next is our absinthe. A lot of times you'll just see it as a rinse in the glass, and it just gets thrown out after that. And you can scale it back if you like, but I'm going for a teaspoon. Add some ice. And we're going to stir to chill and dilute. You want to give it a little bit of time. You know, it's funny, when I read through Hugo Ensslin's book, almost all the drinks are just alcohol base. You know, there's very little mix going on there. It's pretty funny, actually. Let's give it a little try here. Oh yeah, that works. Okay, I've got a chilled coupe glass here. I'm just going to get rid of that ice water. And we're just going to fine strain it just to get rid of those little ice shards that might occur. Nice little color going on there too, yeah. And garnish, we are going to garnish with an orange peel, all right? All we want to do is express the oils. Yes, nice. And drop the orange rind into our drink, just like that. How sweet is that? Let's give it a go. Lovely color, isn't it? Ah, it's really nice. If you're expecting a base spirit like gin or whiskey, this doesn't have it. This is such a light, refreshing actually, cocktail. This vermouth cocktail, the Chrysanthemum, gets some gentle coaxing with the Benedictine and Absinthe to create a drink that is complex yet light on the booze. I think this would be a great intro to an evening, or a quiet way to wind down, and a terrific cocktail for anyone to add to the repertoire. Yeah, cheers. When you think lilies, you sometimes think funerals, especially white lilies. They symbolize the purity and the innocence of a soul once it has left the body. In France and many other countries in Europe's, Europe's off. Oh, lily you. Boo! I ain't dead yet. It's been an awful long time since I've been laid out on top of the bar. Well, you need to make a chrysanthemum cocktail, and you need to hit the subscribe button and, you know, check some other videos out. And yeah, hope you're keeping well. What the hell am I doing up here? Oh,